Hey everyone, it's Dr. Nick and Professor Mike with Divine Guidance Institute Modern Day Mystery School. We're so excited to be here today. We've got a lot to say about a real big problem: mass shooting mayhem.
There's a lot of it going on right now, and two veterans, really, ex-Marines who engaged in mass shootings, and they had been diagnosed with severe PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder.
One's in Michigan, one's in North Carolina. Shootings, 3 dead, 4 dead. Let's roll the clip.
2 mass shootings by military veterans have left communities in Michigan and North Carolina reeling. In Michigan, Marine veteran Thomas Jacob Sanford crashed his flag-decorated truck into a church, opened fire, set the building ablaze, killing at least 4, and was shot dead by police. Just a day earlier in North Carolina, veteran Nigel Edge allegedly opened fire from a boat near a waterfront bar, killing 3 and wounding 5. Authorities say Edge, who suffers from PTSD, specifically targeted his location before being arrested. The incidents come as nearly 100 VA doctors warn that Trump administration's staffing cuts could weaken care for veterans. Both tragedies have renewed debate about veteran mental health and support across the U.S.
That's the result of severe PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder.
And no one knows better than you.
No, but hey, and I was in the infantry in Vietnam, late 60s, 69, during the Great Tet Offensive. So there was a lot of stuff going on in terms of events, shootouts, combat that results in PTSD. You come back from that event. I came back with severe PTSD and was diagnosed by the VA. Part of this story is, what I found specifically that assisted me. I found a special tool. I stumbled upon it accidentally, and it led to my healing. The PTSD simply abated. The symptoms went away. And that's when I realized what we had was really an extremely special tool and technique that directly addressed the symptoms of PTSD.
Before we get into that, I want to share, some of you may not know what PTSD is. Post-traumatic stress disorder. And as a clinical psychologist myself, I've dealt with many clients with PTSD, and Michael is right on point. We always share this tool, and the symptoms start to dissipate. The symptoms resolves itself in the most natural, beautiful, perfect way ever. And Michael's gonna, continue with sharing in just a moment, but I just wanted to elaborate a bit. PTSD. Let me give you layman explanation. You have a traumatic event, and PTSD are the residual effects from that event. You might have nightmares, you might have flashbacks. I mean, a myriad of symptoms, physical, mental, emotional. And so it manifests in different ways, but the bottom line is you had a traumatic event of any nature, car accident, any nature at all, and it's the residual effects of that event that are with a person, ongoing. And it can be quite debilitating, as you've seen with this mass shooting mayhem and these 2 guys, the shooting of the church in Michigan, 4 people ended up dead. And may the blessings be. In North Carolina, he pulled up on that boat in the restaurant and opened fire, and 3 people dead. So again, it's imperative that really everyone start using one magic word, but really that, especially for the PTSD. I'm going to throw it back at you, Mike.
Yeah, and for me, it's real. I'll be specific because then you understand PTSD, and you will have some insight into the veterans pulling up, shooting people. And I understand that because I literally was there for a while. A decade or 2, I came back, and the symptoms were so severe. The meds and the medical doctors and the establishment, even the VA, didn't know much about PTSD at the time. They didn't know how to treat it other than put you on some serious drugs that would put you in a coma, literally. So that was it. I would wake up with severe nightmares. Severe nightmares. And anxiety greater than I could even go into describe. And I was always looking over my shoulder, always paranoid, would never sit in a restaurant where I couldn't see the door. Depression. How about suicidal ideation? Literally every day I thought about, spinning the chambers and putting around through, I mean, every day. And it was very, very palpable. It was right there live in my life. And those nightmares, I even woke up once with I had an automatic weapon I'm talking a decade after Vietnam at my house because of my paranoia with the PTSD. And I woke up with the automatic weapon from a nightmare, and I was laying on my living room floor in a combat position ready to shoot someone. It was like, that even freaked me out. It was like, oh my God, what can I do for this? And they didn't really have anything at the time to address it other than put you into a semi-sleep state. That was it.
One quick thing I want to mention is, aside from all those symptoms, you experienced daily depression.
Yes.
I mean, it's the melees, the daily ongoing, persistent depression that goes along with it. So I just wanted to mention that, it was more than an intermittent symptom flash. It was an ongoing
permanent mood swing, always in depressed or even the opposite state, almost like a bipolar state where I'd be all bouncing around and I'd go back into depression again. It was all the result of the PTSD. The interesting thing is that's when I incidentally, I ran across some writings and a spiritual path that often did this one particular technique or tool, a vibrational toning technique called the HU, H-U. HU. Goes like that. Like, and I thought, and I started reading about it and the research, and I thought, wow, what have I got to lose? So I started trying it in my daily life, and those PTSD symptoms abated.
Well, that's what you noticed.
Yeah.
I mean, you found the HU. You didn't intend on anything with PTSD. But what you found over time, because, we've been together 31 years now, is that, oh my God, the symptoms are dissipating. Like, what a benefit from this separate thing. And this is long before, you guys, you have to realize, this is before chanting and Om and yoga. We're talking, Michael and I have been using the HU. We found out about HU. For me, it was like 30 years ago. Michael, it's even been a little longer. So, this is long before these things were acceptable. Okay. So we were going against the grain. So, it's important to make that point, because now everyone's like, just, go ahead and do the Om type thing. But aside from that, after the results that Michael experienced, that you experienced, honey, then we did the research. We wanted to know all we could about the word HU, the research, the history, the science. Where did it come from? And, that's why we wrote Just Say HU. One-step therapy. Just Say HU. And all the research is in the book.
And it's simply one step, because that's all it takes. It doesn't take a year of therapy and meds and doctors.
It works on day one.
You do it, and I felt relief right away. It was like, whew, I can breathe again. After like 20 years of dealing with the PTSD symptoms, I could feel like, whoa, I felt upbeat. The depression started lessening and lessening. And I realized that that vibrational toning technique literally was resetting my original operating system. In other words, me, how I work, and the left brain and the right brain, and the dreams, and all that was coming in, the feelings and my gut feeling, and the paranoia. All that was being literally, by a different vibration, reset. The HU was resetting everything. Consequently, I was going back toward state of complete chaos and disorder and mayhem to one of balance, normal, healthy. And it was like, whoa. And it started happening right away. It was like, didn't take a year. It took one day of hewing, and I was feeling better already.
Yeah, already after one day. And, and so with his relief, that's when we said, wait a minute here, compile the data. And we said, we've got to get this out to the world. We have to get this out to the world, which is why we bothered writing Just Say HU One-Step Therapy. That's why we share it with everyone. That's why we started Divine Guidance Institute Mystery School, which is actually launching. It's officially launching October 22nd, which happens to be the spiritual new year. We won't get into that right now. But the greater message is, it worked so well for Michael's symptoms that we're compelled to share it. Share it with you. Share it with the veterans. We're launching the school. I think you want to say something before.
This has changed my life. And that's why we're doing what we're doing, involved with the whole 501c3 nonprofit that we started to get it out to all the people who are suffering all these different anxiety, depression, suicidal ideas. I mean, it runs across society. And that's the major things we deal with on a daily basis that will trigger it. But not only that, especially for veterans, anytime we've dealt with veterans, it's always been pro bono, free, to deal with the PTSD. And Nic wants to say something on that.
Well, I want to say a few things. First, I want to give you guys a demo. For those of you that have just joined us, that aren't familiar with us, or you're not familiar with one magic word, the hue, let me give you a demo and a quick technique, a quick method so you can start hewing today. Okay, the hue, H-U, hue. You simply inhale, and on the exhale, you say, you can do it out loud or silent, eyes open or closed. Makes no difference. It affects the central nervous system, the atoms, the subatomic particles. This is how it works mechanically, scientifically. So you just say hue out loud or silent. Hue. You do 1 to 20 minutes a day. No more than 20 minutes is needed. And after 1 minute, you're going to notice a relief. Seriously, you can use it for the nightmares and the insomnia and the anxiety, or just some peace of mind. Okay, so that's like the short version on how to do the hue. So please try it today or tonight, and please share it with at least one person today.
And it's not like the other vibrational toning. It's like people always go, well, it's like the Om. No, it is not. It is in a different class, and it happens instantly. And it's a vibration that's extremely powerful. It is the most powerful vibration that I found. And quantum physics has proven, like, why does this work? I'll give it to you from a scientific perspective. When we change the vibration, we change the reality.
Nice.
That's pure quantum proven. Change the vibration, you change the reality. I go from one of being totally suicidal to one of, I'm feeling good today. Change that vibration, I change my reality. That's how it works.
Yeah. So, we're so compelled, the mass shooting mayhem, even for the dude that shot Charlie Kirk. Seriously, these people are hewing. They're not going to be doing these negative things. They're just not. The two cannot exist simultaneously. This behavior and this cannot exist. They can't coexist. One knocks the other out entirely, vibrationally at the core. Not wishful thinking.
And for all the people who are the victims of the surrounding shootings, all the families and people going through all of the trauma that you go through when you're exposed to that, they can use that hue, and it'll put them back in the zone. Literally, they start feeling healthy and normal again.
Yeah, I mean,
what a gift.
Please, hue. We're imploring you. Start it today yourself. Try it today or tonight. Share it with at least one person, share it with 10 people. Do an experiment. You'll see, it's not because we said so, but you will experience and witness yourself the benefits. Okay. Now here we have a crazy, amazing offer for the launch of the Mystery School Divine Guidance Institute. Folks, the school is so imperative. It should actually be mandatory that every human go through Divine Guidance Institute, because it resets and connects you with, as you said earlier, it reboots.
Yep, reboots your original operating system, us, who I am. So we're back healthy again. So it's not broken going down the road with all the problems, anxiety, depression, suicidal. It puts me back in the zone of who I truly am.
The tools of the Institute are universal tools. They're built in dream, signs, and intuition. And people don't know how to use these tools. That's why we created the Institute, to hear the voice, whether you want to call it the universe, Holy Spirit, your higher self, or God. It does not matter. The bottom line is the tools. The tools are life-changing, and they start today. They don't start in 6 months or a month. They don't even start in a week. They start the first day you start using these tools. The minute we're born, we start dreaming. That speaks volume on, wow, there must be a reason. Yes, indeed. So, but that's another topic and another podcast. But the bottom line gift today for the veterans, we are offering 1,000 scholarships for veterans to come into the school and get rocking and rolling. 1,000 scholarships for veterans. We launch on October 22nd. Give this message. If you're a veteran, reach out to us. And if you're not a veteran and you know a veteran, Get them this message. They're going to work with me and Professor Mike, veteran himself.
And a scholarship means it pro bono for you as a veteran.
Yeah. And you'll have a charter membership. So what does that mean? That means lifetime. That means lifetime membership to Divine Guidance Institute, lifetime access to us, the tools, the courses, and wow, change will occur immediately. So share the message. Share the message of the Hue. Share the message of 1,000 pro bono scholarships to the veterans. Yeah.
Take advantage of the benefit, the healing, and share it with whomever. And if you need it, do it yourself. Try it 30 seconds. You'll go, whoa, I can feel that. There you go.
And let's see. Reach out. Yes. Send us an email. The website will be done within 2 weeks. DivineGuidanceInstitute.org. DivineGuidanceInstitute.org. Right now, if you go there, you can take a spiritual IQ test. It's awesome. It's really, really cool. And then within 2 weeks, it'll go live for the actual website. But reach out through there, send us a message, send us an email, or just email us direct info@DivineGuidanceInstitute.org. And yeah, you'll get a hold of us, and we can get you set up with the scholarship. So
hey, live long and prosper.
All right, guys. Talk soon.
Have a good one.
Bye.